Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest Mother and Dad. Love, Ruth, John, Mark, Pamela, Patricia, and Peter. Ruth Smallshaw Ray's Letters to Her Parents, 1961, Part 130. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio. July 23rd, 1961. Dearest Mother, we received Pam's photograph proofs back fine. They weren't too good of her, but thought you might like to see them. That day I had her photo, and then took her to lunch, and then Portero cut her hair. She looked so cute with her hair cut, and I almost wished I'd had the photo taken after. I didn't feel he caught her true spirit. Notice her teeth missing? Last night we had Bev and Joe Schneider over from John's office. The young fellow married a year, and his wife with red hair, Bev, she is also a lawyer. They're from California. We saw them at a square dance. John cooked steaks out back, and then after the kiddies went to bed, we played bridge. Today the Duffs came with their kiddies. Wayne's dad died last week of cancer. Anne phoned the other day and said she felt this trip was destiny now. She's expecting her 7th child in February and feels it better to leave her mother with 6 children to care for than 7, that her mother is in good health now. Anne will be 4.5 months pregnant, a plucky gal. So they came today and we all went swimming and had a fine time. We had a good picnic out back with barbecued chicken. Their little girl, Marion, stayed here, so she and Patti are up in bed giggling and having a fine time. She's staying until Tuesday. Anne will come for her. So the plan is for us to fly to Ireland September 21st, drive through Ireland, take a boat to Scotland, drive through Scotland and England, take a boat to Paris, France, and after a while there, fly home in October. We'll be gone less than 3 weeks. So the big thing will be to find someone to look after the kiddies. Mark and Pam will be in school, so that's good, and Patti will have nursery school too. In August, Anne has a cottage at Mittawanga, so we're going to try to get one also for the 2nd week of August, if Mark consents to skip camp for the 2nd week. John can come out evenings after work, for if we take the trip to Europe, he doesn't feel that he should take too much time off, as the fall is their busy court season. So I'll have lots to do here, the fall school clothes to get ready, and my own too. Anne asked if we had a novena in our church where you pray for 9 days to get help with a problem. She thinks I ought to try it on my house problem. Our minister is away and a Canadian retired minister is here. He's having communion Tuesday at 8 o'clock a.m. and then going back to Canada, so John said he'd stay here until I get back Tuesday. John got up with Peter and fed him and the children this morning, which I appreciated. Chris, Ken, and their boys are coming Thursday. I still don't have a cleaning woman and find this house a lot to get through each week plus laundry. We plan to take them to Music Carnival and then the Kon-Tiki if they want to. We had a nice letter from Harold and Marge. I'm going to a swimming party Thursday night at that lovely big home in Shaker Heights with the heated pool. I will take Chris if she's here. Joyce took Patti, Peter, and I to the yacht club pool Tuesday and Wednesday. I went to a luncheon at a house on the lake with a lovely view of the shore. You could even see the terminal tower. They had a bedroom wing added, all glassed in like Shirley's Florida room. Shirley and the boys were at the yacht club pool too. I'm so sorry to hear about the drought. Dad's hat was a month late. It is washable. I'm glad he can use it. Much love, Ruth, John, Mark, Pamela, Patti, and Peter. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio, August 3rd, 1961. Dearest Mother, I enjoyed your letter and glad that you had a chance to get out to Katepwa. Did you drive by yourself or with Dad? Chris and Ken and the boys arrived last Friday until Sunday and seemed to enjoy themselves. We took them to the Kon-Tiki Friday night after a steam cookout, and Saturday showed them John's offices, the terminal tower, and lunch at Captain Frank's on the wharf, then to the Junior Museum, then swimming at the beach, then barbecued chicken, and to Music Carnival, Paint Your Wagon. The boys seemed to enjoy it. John asked Mrs. Vogler about looking after our family, and she's willing to do it. She has to bring her semi-invalid husband here, though. John plans to pay her about $100 a week. We're going the first 3 weeks of October, flying a jet. Thank you for your offer to look after the children. Sunday we took Chris and her family to church, then swimming at the beach, and then a ham dinner, and they left about 4:30. We enjoyed having them. She says she'll try to get Pat and her family to come down. Thinks it would do Pat good. Mark goes to day camp this week, and Pam has swimming lessons, and I try to take them swimming at the pool often. I took Margot and Johnny today. This week, Pam had a friend overnight too, and last week we had Ann's little girl for 4 days. Saturday we're going to Mitawanga, have Ann's brother's cottage as his wife is threatening a miscarriage. Ann will be there with her family. John will come out at night. The Duffs were all here for swimming and a picnic a week ago Sunday. That's when Marion stayed with Patti. Then Ann brought Mrs. Brooks up when she came for her Wednesday. Yes, I have a new cleaning woman. She's just been here once, but seems more peppy than Iola and more cheerful. Her name is Olga May, so we'll see. Shar and Don McQuilkin are coming for bridge tomorrow night. We have to go to Mark's camp to see him, then he stays all Friday night. The weather has just been wonderful. Peter even went in the swimming pool today. Love, John, Ruth, Mark, Pamela, Patti, and Peter. P.S. Pam went sailing off the diving board into 7 feet of water many times. I was quite surprised. She also jumps off John's shoulders, a real daredevil. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio, August 21st, 1961. Dear Mother and Dad, thank you for your good letters and the nice anniversary card. It hardly seems possible that 11 years have flown by. I've been so lucky to have had such a wonderful husband as John. We went to a beach party Friday night. Our friends who have the ballroom of the Mather estate, and Saturday John took me to dinner and Spartacus, and last night the Duffs came and we saw Slides of Ireland at the Whiteses, Anne and John White's parents home on the lake. Tonight we just got home from visiting Mark in the hospital. John was with him this afternoon and we both went tonight. Mrs. Vogler came and looked after the children and wouldn't accept payment. She's been so worried about Mark. He has pneumonia and an ear infection in both ears. Pamela is also on antibiotics for an ear infection. We had a fine vacation with the Duffs the first part until Patti came down with the flu. Mark had poison ivy and a cough, and then the flu and a cold hit us all. Mark fainted twice and was so sick. Dr. Nitch is away, so I had to get another doctor who said Mark did not have an ear infection but had asthma. We could not get another doctor to come because of ethics. Finally, we got the doctor to examine Mark again, and he said that he did have an infection in both ears and pneumonia, and the x-rays showed he does. Poor Mark has been throwing up all the medicines and was so weak and breathless and just coughing constantly. It made our hearts ache. We leave for Ireland October 6th and wondered if there were any relatives or friends in England that you would like us to visit briefly. We're going through Wigan. Isn't that where Jenny is? Send us any addresses you'd like us to see and we'll see if we can put them on the itinerary. We're also going to Paris, France. I certainly hope that Mark will be well soon. Much love, Ruth. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio, August 31st, 1961. Dearest Mother and Dad, thank you for your letters, and it was good of you to phone. I'm sorry, but I just don't seem to be able to write letters anymore. Dr. Nitsch just phoned about Mark. He had more x-rays this morning. His lung is partially collapsed, so they are going to put him into a decompression lung machine and hang him upside down part of the time to try to get the mucus and fluid out of him. He is on penicillin shots and declamacin, and they are giving him a tonic and milkshakes and letting him choose his menu. He is just skin and bones. He's been such a good boy, too. They are also giving him oxygen. I was so glad to get Dr. Nitsch back. The other doctor had said Mark had asthma and no ear infection, and a week later, after many phone calls, finally agreed he had pneumonia and a double ear infection. He didn't even tell me if it was severe, in both lungs and fluid in his lung and a partial collapse. He even told Mark yesterday he might be able to go to Lakeside. But Dr. Nitsch said he'll have to have more x-rays next Tuesday, so we'll definitely miss Lakeside and the start of school is next week. Pamela is so good. These two, Pam and Patti, have been by themselves constantly since we returned from Mitawanga and playing so well together. Not a soul has been here except the doctor and the babysitter since we returned. John's folks visited Mark Sunday afternoon while we went to the Duffs. Wayne's sister and family, Joan and Lenny, and the 4 girls were visiting from New York, and Mary and Vince and their 3 were there, so 15 children in the last 10 years. We saw Mark after church and then again in the evening and had the girls wave down on the street. He's in Lakewood Hospital, room 340. John visits him every afternoon from 3 to 4 and then comes home, and I go from 6:30 to 7. John has been so good. John's mother has a ruptured disc and visiting Ted Zook this afternoon, and Uncle Frank has had a stroke and he's in the hospital. Joan's dad is going to have a hernia operation next week. I don't know how many will get to Lakeside or how we'll work visiting Mark. I'm sorry you're having such bad weather. It's just beautiful here. We took the kiddies to the park for lunch. I'm very thrilled Bud and his family are enjoying camping. How is Janet now? We'll be in Leicester about October 12th and Wigan. I will write later. Love, Ruth. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio, September 7th, 1961. Dearest Mother, we brought Mark home Tuesday evening. His lung was still a bit deflated. Back for x-rays in 10 days. Dick and Joan brought us a milkshake machine to try to fatten Mark up. Mark's teacher visited him twice, and Mrs. Vogler too, took him some wonderful books, and his teacher brought him a purse full of coins from all the countries she visited, even Russia. Pam has her for a teacher this year. Patti is so looking forward to nursery school. I wish I could press a button and be on Huntmere Drive in Bay Village with the kids. I will start Patricia in ballet, although it breaks my heart to see her alone. I went to a nursery meeting tonight. I am a trustee. The minister visited Mark also. Pam got new shoes tonight, $8. Patti wanted $9 ones. Take care. Love, Ruth. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio, September 13th, 1961. Dear Mother, I'm having John, at least John suggested that he have his secretary photostat and schedule of our trips so that you can see on the map where we'll be and when, in case there's anyone on the route you want us to visit. I've just gone over it, and it looks as though both Nuna and Mrs. Alice Plax are out of the way, but Jenny is on the route, so we may be able to see her Saturday, October 14th briefly. I've just written her about it. I think Birmingham is the closest we'll get to Nuna and Leicester, and I don't imagine we'll be able to go to that much out of our way on such a tight schedule as we are to be in. Stratford Hotel, Shakespeare, Sunday, October 15th, and Saturday, October 14th, the Blossoms Hotel in Chester. Patti started nursery school this morning. I worked there this morning and had Mrs. Vogler look after Peter. Mrs. Vogler has been so good, so concerned about Mark when he was sick. She suggested we get another doctor. She was so upset about him. Then she looked after the kiddies when we went to the hospital, even loaned us her car and would not accept payment for sitting, and she visited him twice, took him 3 lovely expensive books, a horse, plant, and candy straws, and has been so good. Mark goes in for x-rays tomorrow. His bills are over $600 now. Your winter schedule sounds very exciting. I hope you have a very full and interesting year. The thing to remember is if you do get a cold or sick to stop and miss all the activities until you're well. It's the pushing when one is half sick that gets us into real trouble. But I think it's wonderful to have so many interests. I'm proud of you. Love, Ruth. P.S. Peter is walking. Almost. 20689 Beechcliff Boulevard, Rocky River, Ohio. September 14th, 1961. Dear Mother, the very cutest thing happened. John and I watched Peter remove a slot from the playpen. The one Mark had removed 8 years ago, and then Peter crawled out backwards. He looked up at the sky and just laughed. Pure joy. We should have taken movies. Well, yesterday Patti was at Dr. Saunders'. They have a little boy, 3, and I heard, "Ya, ya, ya," at the back door, and I opened it, and there was my darling Peter, 2 old flowers in each fist. He had again crawled out of the playpen. John thought he'd fixed it, and then Peter had picked up the dead flowers on the ground and crawled up the back steps, so proud of himself. At least he knew where to come instead of the street. I almost cried when I saw him sitting there. I had him do it again on movie, but not quite the same. He is so cute. A couple from Canada with boys ages 5 and 4 and a girl 2 have moved into the white house across the street. They are renting. The house is $78,000, but going through bankruptcy, so will be tied up for a while. I had the kiddies over yesterday and today, and we had them and a young lawyer and his wife last evening, and I did her washing and drying today. Do take care of yourself. Carol and Dave also got a freezer a couple of weeks ago, and they're just thrilled about it too. Much love, John, Ruth, Mark, Pamela, Patti, and Peter. To be continued. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Good luck to you with your efforts in family history. If this interests you, finding, preserving, and sharing old letters, diaries, photographs, family movies and videos, and interviewing elderly relatives while they're alive. You might consider checking out our website, Adventures in History with Peter J. Ray at peterjray.com. So far, we've made 703 history videos in 7 areas: world history, American history, book reviews, poetic tours, Cleveland baseball, family history, and autobiography. There's a donate feature. You might consider making a donation so we can continue making these videos. If you live in Metro Manila, Philippines, and are looking for a high school, you might consider Celeste Educational Center. Celeste is located on Allenby Street, not far from the corner of P. Guevara and Wilson Street in San Juan, Metro Manila, Philippines. At Celeste, we specialize in helping young people who have had difficulty in the larger traditional high schools. We're more than a school, we're a warm, supportive community, and we strive to be creative and innovative so the students enjoy going to school and enjoy learning. And the website is resceleste.education, RESALEST. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.